I think instinctively it's just all that we have to clean up. I mean, and that's not surprising. It's week one. We've got to get efficiency going on offense. Just early snap misses, whether it be ball in access that's dropped, snap again in poor location. I mean, those things just kill the rhythm. I thought the compete was good. The defense, on the goal line there it was a character sequence, and I thought they stepped up. And there was good enthusiasm on the field. So we can build on this. It's just like you would expect after week one. Just there's a lot to work on. And I think the number one thing would just be efficiency on offense.
Tempo seems to be pretty high at times. Is that something like, do you want to play that fast, or is it more, take advantage of the allotted time for practice as much as you can?
Well, in normal practice, we'll tempo to get reps in, but I think in game sequence, it's about what strategically, kind of fits the moment. So if it's a situation where we can get an opponent on the ropes, we don't want to let them off the ropes, but also we want to be an offense that can control the game too. And so, tempo for the sake of tempo, I think, can be damaging to the team effort. And so it's just a matter if we pick and choose our moments. And again, part of it is you got to get in rhythm to use it. If you're not in rhythm, you're going to have an issue.
Do you have an update on Ziegler's status?
I don't. I haven't spoken to the training staff about it yet. We'll see.
The defense pretty much won today on scrimmage. How much do you attribute that to just physical dominance? How much do you attribute that to you guys throw a lot at the offense? There's a lot for a center and a quarterback to process. There's more guys than you can block at sometimes. I mean, maybe it's difficult for you to answer until you see film, but what was your first impression?
No, I think it's a great question, and I think there's a couple of things that play into that. I do feel like our defense is ahead right now. I think they've picked up a little bit more rapidly where we left off. It wasn't atypical in the spring to see that, as we were kind of getting our feet underneath us, and I thought the offense came out in the spring game and really hit all cylinders. And so for the defense is about maintaining some consistency. I felt like in the second half, you have a chance to come out and really take control and make it a low-scoring game. And I felt like they didn't have the right mindset taking the field to defense. So there's room for improvement there too. But offensively, I think when you split the teams, just because some of the nuances or the intricacies of the snap, who the center is, who the quarterback is, who the five O-linemen working together, you're just going to have a little more variable there that's going to maybe be a little more challenging to them. But I feel like the defense is a little ahead. We got to get the offense to catch up.
You mentioned the snap a couple of times. How big of a concern is that?
Well, it's a concern insofar as that, if that's got to be we don't have a play unless we have a snap. I think obviously I see it more in gun variations. So, and I think we've narrowed into, the people that really need to be working that. And it's just a matter of getting a consistency to it. So we'll pay attention to that, obviously, but that'll go a long way in determining who's playing and how much they're playing.
You guys threw the ball around a lot. What did you feel, or what did you think of, ball security that
obviously as far as the turnovers, obviously we had the one go for a touchdown. And then a fumble too that was recovered by the defense. The ball security I didn't like was just the number of times we dropped the football. And to me, we're not going to be able to connect plays within a drive and get rhythm going if we can't catch the ball in space. And so that we just talked about it. We'll talk about it more. But that has to be a signature of Vanderbilt's offense. Is we're going to make the simple play, we're going to make it routinely, and we're going to pick and choose our moments to take our shots.
How did you choose which quarterbacks went out there at which time today, and what did you see out of their performances?
Well, Ken and Jeremy split the gold sideline, and then Mike took the black sideline. So the team was split, and we just left them to manage the game from their side. And that Coach Lynch just he's got a running clock in terms of the plays that they've taken. But what we want to do is simulate what it feels like in a game, what it feels like to have a break between series, what it feels like to work over the course of 4 quarters, even though they were 10-minute quarters, with one unit, and to try to instill some leadership in our quarterbacks to understand, that's their group. They need to motivate that group, and they need to work with them to move it forward.
Two guys who really stood out from the press box, right, Daevion. How did you evaluate what those guys did today?
Off just my eye. I mean, obviously, DeRicky made the play on the access throw that was returned for a touchdown, and that's not. I mean, those plays aren't abnormal for him. I mean, he's got a chance to be really good. I think for him, it's developing a level of consistency that starts off the field. He's shown a ton of signs of growth that way. I'm really excited for him. I mean, I think this is a guy that can be, an impact player for us. And Daevion, I mean, consistency it defines him, at least who he's been since I've been here. And what his success here in practice is a reflection of is his level of preparation. And then, he's a guy that taking preparation to performance. I mean, I felt like today he showed up ready to prove a point and make plays, and he did.
Like did some nice things at times today. How did you evaluate what he did?
There were flashes there. I think there's still the balance between play creation and, again, the simple play done repeatedly. And we'll have to look at the film. It just seemed like at times there was maybe a little bit of freelancing that can be great, but also can damage rhythm and can damage design. And so we'll have to evaluate that. But obviously he stepped up and his team stepped up and won the day. And that was on a lot. He made the pass on the double move, led the drive that resulted in a field goal. I mean, he did some good things.
The kicker battle, good battle. I'm excited about really all the guys we got on the roster right now. We ramped up the roster and went out and recruited a couple guys. We got Will Ferris and Joe Bulvis, and then Jack Cardillo from Indiana transferred in. So it's a good battle. It's we got a good group of quality guys, and the competition is really pushing each other and helping them push each other and make each other better. So I feel good about it.
Do you guys prefer to just have one starting kicker? Would you do like a short range and long range? It's a situation.
Yeah, no, I think it's like quarterback, right? Like you prefer to have the go-to guy that's getting the experience, that can get the rhythm going. So yeah, one kicker is ideally the way it would be, but we'll see how it plays out. They got to earn it.
How do you evaluate Joseph Bullis at this point?
Yeah, he's been solid. He's been consistent, and with that position, right, consistency is the most important thing. Consistently good, not occasionally great, is what we like to say. So, especially at kicker. So make the ones that you should make, and be consistent on how you're striking the ball on the long one. So he's been good though. He's met our expectations so far, and he just consistently, he has to just keep getting better and get used to the new battery of long snapper and holder.
I know that it's not game conditions. Really gotten into a lot of balls out here during fall camp. How do you look at what he's done so far?
Yeah, I mean, start with him off the field. I mean, just like super impressive guy, like double major, wants to go to med school, and man, I just can't say enough about him as a kid off the field. But he carries that kind of attitude into football. I mean, just professional, and is just striving to be an expert at his craft, and he's gotten better since we've gotten here, and I have high expectations for him this fall.
And how, are you guys shaping up at, punt return, kick return? Who stood out there?
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenging ones to evaluate. I think you look at these, it's hard to simulate live kickoffs or live punt returns just for the fact of trying to keep the guys healthy. So, you're evaluating these scrimmages as a special teams coach and seeing the guys that are making people miss in space. But there's a good group of talented guys that are athletic and fast and quick, and we'll take a look at all those guys and make a decision here in the coming weeks.
Two guys we've seen in return game are Cam Johnson and Alan Wright. And,
yep.
and that's two different things, because Cam is sure-handed. He's been around 4 years.
Yeah.
Alan's a freshman, and sometimes that's a tough spot to put a kid in. What's your thought process as you go about determining who's going to return?
Yeah, I mean, like when you talk about punt return, it's like number one is getting the ball back for the offense, right? A guy that can catch the ball, and obviously if you can get the best of both worlds, a guy that can make people miss. And Cam's had a great camp so far, and is doing a lot of good things. So he's kind of the front runner for that position, and obviously with his experience of doing it in hostile environments, and that's you're on a big stage and you're out by yourself catching a punt. So I'm excited about camp. But my experience is we've had some success with freshmen. In my past of being the returner. So we'll keep those guys coming along.
Cam's also going to get a lot of reps as a receiver, obviously. Is that a factor again in your?
Yeah, it certainly is a factor. I mean, if you can have a guy that you feel really great about and he's fresh, that makes a lot of sense, right? But ultimately, we're going to play the best guy, that can get the job done.
Since your tight end's also Justin Ball, I feel like it's kind of interesting because he has that huge frame and he didn't play in the spring due to injury. How do you think he's come back from kind of missing the spring, this fall?
Yeah, he's he's a worker too, and he's he's had some ups and downs during camp, but he's got a ton of potential and he's got the right attitude, and he's consistently working on getting better, and I feel good about his future and his prospects.
You've used Gavin Schoenwald some in the passing game too, maybe more than he's been used in the past. How do you feel about the camp he's had?
Yeah, he's like we joke around and call him the Swiss Army knife, right? He's got all kinds of little tools, and he's the guy that he's the guy you bring off the bench and all of a sudden has 30 points in a basketball game, right? Like just can shoot it for threes and just find ways to get rebounds, and that's how he plays football too. I mean, he does everything consistently good, and he's not the biggest guy, he's not the fastest guy, but smart and tough and reliable.
This scheme seems to really suit you for whatever reason. What's different? What is working for you about the defense that you're playing in now?
Really just my teammates and coaches, trusting me to be able to make plays and put me in certain spots. So it centers all around them, and their effort and energy bring me along, and I'm able to make the plays that are just coming right to me. So it's pretty fun.
You pull a lot of looks at an offense. There's shifting, there's stunting, there's blitzing, lots of things. How tough do you feel like you guys are going to be for a quarterback and a center on the other side of the line of scrimmage to process what you're going to throw at them?
I think really tough because, the pre-snap look is everything for a QB and a center. So being able to have that interchangeable and still run the same things and make it look different but it's actually the same. It's kind of good for us to just have that many movements and stuff like that we're able to remember and execute pretty well.
Where do you think the defense has improved the most since the start of fall camp?
Just banding together and the energy, being a real brotherhood, believing in each other, executing our assignments and knowing exactly where we need to be and fits and stuff like that. So it's really just an internal thing. I mean, guys have always been fast and strong in this league, so we have fast and strong players, but just the way that we play together is probably the biggest difference.
It seems like there's a lot asked of you guys, but it doesn't seem like you're missing a lot of assignments. The guys are in place. It seems like there's a lot to bite off, but you guys seem to have been able to handle it so far. How have you been able to do that without the mistakes and things that usually come with a lot being asked of you?
I would just say trust in our training. We've been training for these moments. We're trained for the game moments during the summer, spring ball, the winter. I mean, we train like heck to be out here doing what we're able to do, and we all take it really serious, and there's a time to lock in, so we just tune into that time, and we just come out here and try to execute.
Like the offense did sort of pick things up later in the scrimmage compared to the beginning. Where do you think you guys improved?
I think we did well. Just Coach Lee always talks about, trying to gain 4 on first down, and I think we really put our focus on that. It's hard when you're playing behind the sticks. The defense can kind of control things. So once we can pick up, a couple of yards, get them on their heels, we can try and put some tempo on them, and then, we're kind of in the driver's seat from there.
When you're in like a scrimmage situation or 11 on 11 in practice, like how do you think the DBs have improved since last season? Because it seems like they're making more plays.
I definitely noticeable difference. I think they're making a lot more contested catches, and they're really putting the pressure on us to locate the ball well, and it's making our job harder. But at the end of the day, it's going to get us ready for the season, and but it's also forcing the receivers to battle through contested catches and whatnot. But like I said, it's good work, and it's going to get us ready for the season.
How do you feel about your performance through fall camp? What is it that you feel you've done well? What is it that you'd like to do better?
Through fall camp, the first couple of days, I think as an offense, we're just trying to find our rhythm. And then from there, for me personally, just like to be more consistent, with locating the ball. I like to pride myself on, throwing a good deep ball. And I think first couple of days, I was missing a little long. So just trying to let the receivers touch it, as Coach Lynch always says, and then from there, just always trying to get better. Recognizing defenses pre-snap, and then always just trying to command the offense better. Because we got to make the unit go. It's our job to do that.
How tough is it to play against your teammates on defense? Because it does seem like they're throwing a lot at you.
Oh, they definitely are. I mean, Coach Minner, he's come from the NFL, so they got a lot of crazy looks, and but it's good for us. I mean, like Coach Lynch told us today, he hasn't seen this many crazy looks in the first week of fall camp ever, so it's only going to get us better. I mean, I think as a group we're picking it up pretty well, sticking to our rules. But, I mean, the defense, they've been playing really well. Hats off to them. And then on our side of the ball, we just got to kind of relax a little bit, calm down and just stick to what we do good. And, from there, when we find our rhythm, we're going to be good.
What stands out to you about Quincy Skinner compared to, like your typical true freshman?
He's big. He's big. He has a lot of confidence. And I think, once he gets a full grasp of the playbook, he's going to be a really good player for us. And, he's super talented. I know he came from a great high school down there in Florida. So, once he's, fully confident and, he knows exactly what he's doing each play, he's going to be a good weapon for us.